Alright guys, we're back with another video on the channel, and this one's going to be a simple one. It's going to pertain to the BMW. So, if you have one of these installed in your vehicle, I was in the process of doing it, and I figured, you know what, I'm going to make a video on this just to show you guys. So if you have one of these K&N filters, and you need to get to a point where you have to wash it, this is going to be a quick step-on-step how to actually do that. So obviously you need to remove the filter, so whether it's held in by the clips or it's screwed in, go ahead and remove the hardware or unclip it and then pull the box up, and then you're going to remove the filter. Once you get the filter out, you can see just how dirty it is. So on mine, I look at my cars every now and then to do maintenance on them. This one usually I skip every 3 oil changes or 4 oil changes because just the way it's designed. As you can tell, this thing is filthy, so it needs to be changed or cleaned. So now that we're in here in my garage, you can actually see the filter a little bit better. You can see all the pleating, what's all built up in it, whether it's dust or bugs, you name it. So I gotta clean this. So what do you use to clean this? Obviously K&N filter. K&N obviously makes the recharger kit for it, or aka the cleaner kit. Basically what it's going to come with is, I'll show you. So you have the cleaner and the filter oil and the instructions. So I already know how to do it, but so what you're going to want to do, first off, you're going to want to soak the air filter in the cleaner. Go ahead and go wild with it. You're really going to want to soak it down. Now keep in mind that when we soak it down, we want to try to get into these deep cracks and crevices in the pleating so you can free up all that dirt. So I'm going to go ahead, soak this thing down, and then I'll soak it down, and then it has to sit for about 10 minutes. So let it sit for 10 minutes soaked with the cleaner, and then we're going to move on to the next step of actually rinsing the dirt out of it. Now the way I usually start off by doing this is usually you'll take your cleaner, like I said, and you're going to want to soak it down. What I usually do is I usually soak it from the back first so I can hit the top of these spines. These spines are where the dirt is going to be trapped in on the other side. So obviously the flat side, as you see here, is going to be the engine side. So the engine side is not going to be the dirty portion. The dirty portion is going to be the portion that is on the incoming side of that intake tube. So as you can see, like, that doesn't look all that bad, but this side, the side I have not sprayed yet, is the dirty side. The reason I'm doing that is because deep inside these grooves is going to be caked up with this nasty dirt that you need to freeze. So if you can get it out of the spines and then get the top half of it, it'll soak a little bit of while. I'm going to go ahead and spray the rest of it down and then give it a 10-minute wait time. Also to note, you can spray this without gloves on. I prefer doing it with gloves on, but I'm still waiting for the order of gloves to come in since I used my last pair during the Genesis stuff. But all that, the active ingredients in it aren't all that harmful. You have a little bit of ether, but nothing too out of control. You should be fine as long as you don't have like sensitive skin. You might have a rash or something if you use it, but overall you'll be fine. But it's still recommended. I would definitely wear gloves just in case you do have sensitive skin and you start breaking out from like rashing. And when you're spraying this stuff, so it just comes out like a spray, you're gonna definitely want to try to get in and soak it. You can go up and down, left to right, whichever way you're feeling, but also try to get the sides where the rubber is as well, where the dirt is actually caked on also, just to try to get all the dirt and debris free. So that way when you do go to do the rinse, it'll be fine. Now just keep in mind your hands probably will get tired because it's a lot of spraying, but when that happens you usually switch fingers. Alright, now that we waited our 10-minute grace period time for the cleaner to soak in, let's go ahead and spray it off with the water. Remember, low pressure water. And this is what I mean by low pressure water. You just want to use an open hose. You don't want to do one of these numbers where you're just spraying it. You just want it to be fresh, you know, low pressure water. I'm going to go ahead and spray this out since it's a little difficult to hold a phone and do this at the same time, and then we'll see what it looks like afterwards. Alright, so now that we got this all sprayed off now, let's check and see what it looks like. Definitely looks way better. As you can tell, it's not all built up in spots. There's a little bit of pleating built up with just bugs and looks like mulch, but nothing overly crazy. I'll probably give it another rinse over, and then when you dry these out, it's best to try to leave them sitting at an angle so air can hit both sides. Also, do one of these numbers so you can try to get the water out of it. Keep in mind to brace it on both ends, because if you don't and you crack this in half or damage these pleatings, it could also affect performance. But it's going to take roughly 30 to 45 minutes for this to dry. Maybe a little bit faster today since it's like 90 degrees out where I'm at. But just keep that into consideration when you're doing it. If you're doing this in the wintertime, it's going to take longer to dry, versus summertime in the direct sun, it'll be a shorter dry time. Alright, now that I did the second rinse on it, it does look a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and set it in the back of the truck here. Like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and set it at an angle like this. And I'm going to go ahead and open the bed so the airflow can come in, but that way it's still directly in the sun. Probably even angle it a little bit more. But that's all you gotta do. See you guys in 30 to 45 minutes. Alright guys, so it's been about an hour now. Let's go ahead and check on the filter. I did end up checking on it about 20 minutes in, just to see how it was doing. I shook it out again at 20 minute mark. It seemed like it was starting to pull up in the corners, which is to be expected since the water was going to drop down to the lowest point. Shook it free. Feels good. Nice and dry. You can feel in between to see if it's still wet. It feels good to me. So double check on both sides. So now what you're going to want to do when you lube this filter up, you're going to want to focus your attention on the outside, so aka the side where the air is going to pass through before it comes into your engine. And you can usually tell because it'll set in like this. Now the flat side, the more flat side with the less lip, is going to be on your engine side. You don't want to coat this too much, because what could happen is your engine could, let's say you overcoat it, excess oil, let's say you're higher in the RPM range when the engine's actually pulling in air, or a majority of the air. What's going to happen is that oil is going to detach from this filter, and it's probably going to end up collecting on the mass airflow sensor, and that could cause a lot of issues. It could cause stumbling, rough idles. It'll probably trigger a check engine light for probably either misfire codes or mass airflow sensor codes. That could turn into a headache really fast, and a mass airflow sensor is usually not on the cheaper end of the scale, not including the diagnosis speed that comes with that too, and then obviously labor rate. But I'm going to go ahead, put some microfibers down, and I'm going to go ahead and shoot this with the oil. Alright, so we got the can. I'm going to go ahead. I already shook it up a little bit. It doesn't say it too, but it's always good practice. Go ahead and shake it up, whether you need to do one of these numbers or not. But what I'm going to do a light coating on the engine side, and then I'm going to be a little bit more generous on the actual grill side coming in. So go ahead, and I'm going to go up and down the vanes to coat it. And that's all I'm going to do for the engine side. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip it over. And then I'm going to be a little bit more in depth here and make sure you get this little side groove too on both ends. Alright, and now with that being done, we go ahead and let it sit for 20 minutes, and then we dab off any excess, and you should be good to go. Now, while I have that K&N filter drying, or the oil soaking into it, this is probably a good time to go ahead and mention. So there's usually two different types of filters you're going to end up seeing. Sometimes the colors change, but for the most part they usually stay the same color. You're going to have the blue ones, which are going to be dry filters like I have on the Dakota and the Genesis, and then there's going to be the oiled filters like I have with the K&N filter inside the Bmw X3, and the Mustang has a K&N wet filter as well. And ironically enough, so does the Scooter, which is an oiled uni filter. So basically what that means is in that cleaning process, you can usually transfer it over to other filters as well. Like I could use the same K&N stuff on this uni foam filter. I can use it on the Mustang's K&N intake filter. Even though it's a cone style and it's not a panel, it's still, the information still transfers over. But if it's a blue filter, I would probably caution against it, because like I have in the Genesis filter is a blue nanotech filter from InGen, but it's a dry filter. So all I'm going to have to really do with that is basically like either knock off the dust, vacuum it out, or maybe with low air pressure blow it out from the inside out. Okay, we waited a little bit. I'm at the 25-minute mark, and let's see what it's looking like. Alright, as you can see, the excess is pulling up on the rubber. It does say that you can do a secondary coating if it's needed, but this does look like it's a nice, like a dark red, and as you can tell, there is definitely excess because it's pulled up. I'm going to go ahead and wipe off the outer section of it with the microfiber, try to clean up some of this excess oil. Then I'm just going to basically like dab it over the filter element quick, make sure there's no excess there. And I'm going to do the same thing on the back side as well. Basically, this side I'm not too worried about with the excess oil, minus on the rubber piece. I am a little bit more concerned on the engine side, so when I flip it over, I'll just gauge out how it is. Like I said, you're going to want to definitely pick up some of this excess, that way it doesn't pull through when the engine does a high RPM, because it could potentially pull through and touch some sensors, and you're not going to want that. Go through and flip it. The same thing with this. Like I said, go through and definitely pick up that oil on the inside that you know is going to run against the engine, because that definitely could cause an issue. But yeah, I'm going to finish wiping this down, and then we're going to go ahead and pop it back in. Alright, so we got the filter wiped down. Time to take it over and pop it on in the car. And then obviously install is going to be the reverse. You're going to pick up the box, and then you're going to go ahead and slide the filter in however it was in the beginning. Alright, so I got my filter back in, going back through now, and just finishing clipping up the box. And besides that, it's all good and set. Now for the kit, like I said, it's gonna come with the filter oil, the cleaner, and the box, and then obviously the instructions. But besides that, it's gonna run about $20 for the box for the recharge kit. So all in all, if you get the K&N filter and you do go to do the cleaning, go ahead and set aside about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, to go ahead and clean it thoroughly. And that's, like I said, with spraying it down with the cleaner, letting it soak for 10 minutes, then spraying it off with the hose. If it needs a second dose of it, another 10 minutes. And then the 45 minutes or more for dry time, and then you need 20 minutes for the filter oil to set in, and then like I said, if that needs a second level, another 20 minutes. So go ahead and set off about an hour and a half, and your filter is going to be like new. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If it didn't, go ahead and leave a comment, let me know what I could change. I know the video is on the longer side, but I did touch base on a little bit more things than just the K&N filters. I went into the blue filters as well, and then try to show you guys a little bit more in depth of it. But besides that, if you're not already, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and like always, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this video could help you guys out a little bit. Alright, peace, guys.